All right, so in this lesson, we will write the slope-intercept form of a linear function given a table of solutions. So before we write the standard form, let's remind ourselves about standard form, like what it is. So A, B, and C are all integers. They're all integers, which means there are numbers like 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3, etc. And A, the convention is that A will be a positive integer. So A is positive. Also, I can draw that a little bit there. Okay. Guess that's good enough. So A, B, and C. So A, B, and C have no common factors besides 1. So A, B, and C, no common factors besides 1. Because you can always divide everything with 1, right? So let's go ahead and do this. So we have f of x equals 1/3 x plus 5. So first thing I want to do is make this into y equals 1/3 x plus 5. Next thing I'm going to do is get rid of this fraction, because remember, they all have to be integers, so no fractions, no decimals. I will do that by multiplying by the denominator, which is 3. I'll multiply the entire equation, or both sides of the equation, by 3. So I get 3y equals 3 times 1 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I'm actually going to do this, because this is the most common error people make. They forget to multiply everything. And then a positive times positive is a positive. 15. So the next thing is I need my x's and my y's on the same side. So I'm going to subtract these x's from both sides of the equal sign. So we get -1x plus 3y equals positive 15. Now this A, this is A, B, and C. This A needs to be positive. So I'm going to multiply the whole entire, both sides of the equation, by -1. So that becomes a positive 1x. So 1x. A negative times a positive is a negative. And a negative times a positive is a negative. Now what I would like to do is just make this look a little nicer. So x minus 3y equals -15. All right, let's look at this example number 2. So f of x equals 4 over 5x minus 2. I'm going to write that as y equals 4 over 5x minus 2. I need to get rid of this 5, or this fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. So I'm going to show it differently this time, because some of you prefer it like this, times 5. So 5y equals, I can't forget these, so positive times a positive is positive. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Positive times a negative is a negative. 5 times 2 is 10. Cool. So I'm going to move these x's to the left side with the y's. Minus 4x. And minus 4x. And so I get -4x plus 5y equals -10. Remember that this a needs to be positive. This number right here, this coefficient, needs to be positive. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -1. So I get a negative times a negative is a positive, 4x a negative times, I should do this. A negative times a positive is a negative 5y. And a negative times a negative is a positive 10. Well, I should draw this here real quick. Okay. So a is positive, whole numbers, well, integers. And we can't divide any of the, like I can divide this one by 2, but I can't divide that one by 2. And I can divide this one by 5, but I can't divide any of the, well, I can't divide this one by 5. Oops. All right. So example number 3. Let's rewrite this as y equals negative 2/3 plus 1/5 x. So we don't like these fractions, right? And I could multiply by 3 and then multiply by 5 to get rid of both of them, but I may as well just multiply by a common multiple of 3 and 5. So 15 will work because 3 goes into 15, 5 goes into 15. So I'll multiply the entire equation by 15. 15 times y is 15y. A positive times a negative is a negative. 15 times 2 is 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Positive times a positive is a positive. 15 times 1 is 15. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay. And I need my x's over here, so minus 3x minus 3x, and I get negative 3x plus 15y equals negative 10. So I need to make this a positive, so I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. So this becomes a positive 3x, a negative 15y, and a positive 10. I check for common multiples. 3, 15, 10. So 3 goes in here, 3 goes in here, 3 doesn't go. Okay, so we're good. All right, so we have one more. Before I do this, I see a decimal, so I'm going to convert this. You can use Desmos, I've taught y'all. You can also just say that is 2/10, which is 1/5. Now, before we do this, I actually want to change this example. I'm going to make this a negative. Okay, I'm actually going to put that in a different color. I'm going to make this a negative. So, actually, I'll write it like this: 5x, or 5x, f of x equals negative 0.2x plus 3. Okay, so I will write it as y equals negative 1/5 x plus 3. So remember, I changed this to be negative 0.2x, so negative 0.2x. So I should put, yeah. And let's multiply everything by 5. So 5 times y is 5y. 5 times, a positive times a negative is a negative. So 5 times 1 is 5, divided by 5 is 1. And then we have this last one right here. Okay. Positive times positive is a positive. 5 times 3 is 15. Now I'm going to move these x's by doing plus 1x plus 1x. So I get 1x plus 5y equals 15, positive 15. Now, you see how this is already positive? That means that I don't have to multiply by a negative 1. I'm good. I'm done. I'm just going to write it a little nicer. So x plus 5y equals equals 15. And on to the next page. So